Hello, my name is Manuel Klarmann. I'm from Switzerland. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Eaternity. And we at Eaternity, we really have a big appetite for change. We want to establish climate-friendly meals in society. And we do this by working together with the restaurant industry. 1/3 of our greenhouse gas emissions originate from our food consumption. This is massive. Yet we have the chance to reduce those emissions by 50%. And we can also do so at the same time reducing our dependency on land, oil, water, air, and so forth. So we're doing two things. One, we have the largest collection on scientific publications on the environmental footprint of ingredients. We work with leading scientists. They do careful analysis where they look at the complete life cycle of a product from the pesticides up to the preparation in the meal. This is an incredible treasure of knowledge, and it's truly unique. And second, we make all this information via an app accessible to everyone. This is a basic restaurant application that is by itself already a great tool of great value to every professional cook out there. We have called it the Eaternity Cloud. It has functionalities, recipe management, cost and menu planning, menu printing, and very important, it also does allergen and nutrition declaration. So in terms of business perspective, this is already a no-brainer for a decision. Yet we also provide those smart insights into the food supply chains, so we can make those decisions that matter so much to people and planet. So we want that every restaurant is going to use our software. And we have a great team with great skills behind that to make that happen. We are going to revolutionize the restaurant industry. We are going to make them climate heroes. Our strategy is to work with a few key international players to establish a worldwide standard for healthy and climate-friendly meals. And just of last week, we have started rolling out a pilot in Switzerland with one of those few key players to more than 200 restaurants. And the cooks, they see when they're in the restaurant on any meal that they cook, just in time we calculate the CO2 footprint, and they see it. And the restaurants, we also calculate the whole restaurants, and we serve the best, delicious, climate-friendly, and healthy meals. And the guests, they love it. And we are really proud of that. It was a lot of work coming there. So I want to ask you for a favor. The next time when you're at your favorite restaurant, tell them about us. Tell them to look us up and call us. So we have the chance that we can also cook climate-friendly and the best our planet has to offer for you. Because if we have the chance to eat 3 times climate-friendly a week, we can save 1 billion tons of CO2. And there's nothing alike that effective. No technical miracle, no solar panel, no electric car can do that. So let's all become change makers when it comes to sustainability and food. Thank you very much.
Back to Martina for our first question.
I mean, when you're talking about it, that's a massive load of data you're having. Mm-hmm. How have you come so far, and also how do you think of keeping it updated? Because I think that is key to your future success.
Thank you for the question. We've come a long way. It has been 2008 when we started the whole work, and we have been promoting climate-friendly meals, and we have been actively engaged with a huge network of scientific workers from different universities and collaborators. And also right now we're working together with the university and with the leading scientists in Switzerland to do all these calculations. It's still work in progress, as every life cycle assessment and environmental analysis is, but we're pretty much ahead of the game. We try to make it as open and accessible as possible to keep on going there. Yeah.
I'm just really curious, how does it work? I mean, what is it that you do? Could you tell an example?
Okay.
And how do you make money out of it?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Really good question. So currently, we're working with system gastronomes. We're currently we're working with the largest system gastronome in the world. It's the Compass Group. And what we did is we took all our data and we connected our data set with their data set of purchases and recipes. So by this connection, we can deliver them in time calculations on the CO2 footprint based on seasonalities, based on means of transportation, and so forth in real time, the CO2 footprint. And the value proposition for them, why they are also partnering up with us and basically paying us, we currently employ 10 people and we're good off with this, is that they can differentiate in a way from other competitors in the market. You have to know they sign contracts of big corporates to run their restaurants. They apply for probably 4-year contracts, and they need to differentiate in a way that puts sustainability up front, because the food business is really stressful, it's really intense, there's not much margins, and they have to have a way which they can just easily deliver a differentiation.
I still don't get it.
Okay.
So if I want to make potatoes
Yeah.
in my restaurant.
Yeah, you make potatoes and they're super, they're already climate friendly.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
you can get the potatoes from many places and
Okay.
and
Yeah.
grown in all kinds of ways.
Yeah.
I mean,
So-
everyone restaurant wants to be unique. And some right now in Denmark, the Nordic kitchen is really big, and it's about a lot of very experimental, and they all want to be unique. So they don't want to follow any other recipes or.
Okay,
I don't know.
we're not going to turn your kitchen all over. I mean, we're not going to get you away from the experience that you deliver to your guests when you run a restaurant, because it's the most important part of actually running a restaurant, delivering that experience. The point is, there are many misconceptions about sustainability and food. The thing is that there's a lot of things that are uncovered and are really too complex to actually know. For example, that distances of transportation doesn't really add up to a lot of CO2. Bananas from abroad is not really a problem if they come by ship and not flown by airplane. So there's a lot of information that lies there, and people don't know about it and they don't act about it. So by introducing this information, we give the transparency first, and then they can look at their complete set of menus that they have at that current point in time and start slowly optimizing, because they see what is on top, what they could change, what fruit probably wasn't in season, and they can exchange it and then immediately see the effect. So it's a shift in. It's just providing the right information at the right spot.
So your vision is that at some point, besides each menu item, there's the amount of calories, but now you also have the amount of CO2, and therefore you can consumers can take that with them in their choices.
Yeah.
Where do you think the incentive is coming from? Is it from the restaurants that they think that is important, or is it coming from the visitors who are asking for it, or is it just your idea you want to bring to the restaurants?
I hope it's not just my idea. I mean, when we think about climate change and resource depletion in the world, and then see this huge share of 1/3 that we're concerned with, and then we know, okay, there are climate activists. They make maybe just a fraction of those people, but I think we also have the mission to drive those information into the public space to make it more well known, that people actually go to a restaurant and request this information.
Do you also have the experience that the restaurant itself say, hey, we want to position ourselves, or is it most of the time you think you have to take the pressure out of the crowd?
So we get a lot of requests from individual restaurants to do something about it, but basically with every restaurant I talk with, they have something they want to do about sustainability. And then they start talking about how they source locally, or they have a connection with the butcher close by. And then I see, okay, they're basically literally swimming in the dark when it comes to actual sustainability, when it concerns to CO2 and resources. I don't know if that answers the question. Yeah.
All first, Sophie.
Hi, I'm Paul from Ireland. So
Hi.
food being 30% of the the problem as defined, but restaurant consumption, restaurant meals are probably a relatively small percentage of the total.
It's not that small, but yeah. It's
So, but have you, and again, I think building on Martina's question, if your ultimate sort of target to change behavior here is the consumer, the end user, have you any plans to look at targeting them directly as opposed to through restaurants?
Obviously. So yeah, you're making a point, right? I mean, we want to go over the restaurant to get that information into the public space and to have a business, a scalable business, a startup. We see the possibilities by partnering up with retailers or also product manufacturers at best, also Ben&Jerry's, of course, to actually reach with our information into consumer markets, not so much for the cause of earning money, but for the cause of actually informing people about the topic. Yeah.
Well, Sophie, then Isabel?
I sort of get what I get the research, but I don't get how you put it into action, because a piece of celery could have come from next door, or it could have come from, and been air freighted in from California. I don't get how you would know which you were doing. And so then if you were going to take that to consumers, I even less think they're going to know what they were doing. And so I don't get, doesn't it?
So there's one situation where we actually know where the food comes from, and then we can do an exact calculation, and the other situation is
You know
that...
where you're being told the food comes from. You don't know where it comes from, you know where you're being told it comes from.
Exactly. And we also have, on the other side, statistics on import statistics and seasonalities, where we can also make estimations when we don't get the information. It's true. I mean, a great challenge that also lies there is product lifecycle management in general, to know where the food comes from. There are efforts on the way. But the interesting thing is that that's not the first problem at hand that we're settling with, to know exactly where the food comes from. That can be estimated. It doesn't matter if it came from Spain or from Italy when you buy a tomato here in the UK. So just saying, we try our best here to get this information, and it is not that important in the long run when it comes to the CO2 assessment.
We're about out of time. One quick question from Isabel.
Where'd you get the money from?
The money.
Yeah.
So we got a lot of money from Switzerland, from foundations, but currently we are running our 10 people, employees from the client that we're running with, Compass Group. They pay us, we can employ 10 people with that. So we're pretty well off as a team and with our business. We're still looking for money because it just can't go fast enough when it comes to climate change. Yeah.
All right, let's have a round of applause. Manuel. Thanks, sir. For those...